Scripture informs us in Ephesians, the 4th chapter, verse 15, of becoming more and more in every way like Christ. A follower of Christ shares Christ's attributes. The church has the awesome opportunity to participate in discipleship. As a church planner, one of the things that we must wrestle with is, what should disciples look like in our context? What is a functioning disciple in our community? What is a functioning disciple in the neighborhoods, in the homes that we are knocking on the doors or sending mail-outs toward? Another way to ask the question is, after these people come to your church and being there in worship for 1 or 2 years, what would those people look like? What part of Christ's attributes could be evident in their lives? Each one of us bring different skills and experience to our communities. And for Living Water, it was crucial that the following attributes would be evident: that people were growing spiritually, that people would have authentic, accountable relationships, that people would be using their gifts in ministry, that people would be giving cheerfully, if people would be extending their hand, not only in mission, but also to make sure people are coming to Living Water Church. These attributes communicate our values, but it provides a benchmarks for our strategy. And as we seek to see these values not only written on documents or along the halls, but most of all flowing from the people who come to Living Water's heart. When you're clear about the end, you have an opportunity to put all the systems in place in the environments that you create to move people from one place to a different place. So if you're in a suburban or an urban context and you see discipleship, one of the attributes of a disciple is understanding, a good understanding of Scripture. What are you doing to make sure you have people who don't know anything about Scripture to the point where they're fully engaged in disciples' Bible study or Christian believer or something like that? Or if someone is, if relational empowerment is something that you aim to a disciple to have in your context, something that you must really get your hand on is, how do I empower relationships with people who have broken relationships with their mothers, father, husbands, to the point where they know how to be in a relationship not only to Jesus Christ, but to their neighbors, their husbands, their wives, their children. It's vitally important that we have the systems and environments in check to make sure that we are equipping and empowering people to become like Christ in every way possible. And we have an awesome opportunity to create not only systems, to create environments to walk people along, and making sure our small groups and making sure every aspect of our church are moving people along to become more like Christ in every way possible.